Imagine creating a dense, green, living forest. Without planting a single tree, no digging, no saplings, no nursery bags. Yet within months, new life started rising from the ground like magic. What if I told you the forest was already hiding in the soil, just waiting for the right conditions to wake up? Today, I'm going to show you how we transformed a dead, barren piece of land into a thriving mini-forest using a method so simple that anyone can try it. And yes, without planting even one tree. The results will shock you. Before we began, this land looked hopeless: dry soil, scattered weeds, and no sign of life. Most people would have said, stop planting trees, but we decided to try something different. Instead of planting trees, we focused on restoring the soil ecosystem. We believed that if the soil was healed, the forest would grow on its own. That small decision led to one of the most surprising transformations we've ever seen. In this video, I'll show you exactly what we did, what happened week by week, and how nature responded once we stopped interfering and started supporting. By the end, you'll understand how powerful natural regeneration truly is. The land before, when we first walked onto this piece of land, it felt completely lifeless. The soil was dry, compacted, and cracked like it had forgotten what rain was. There were no trees, no shrubs, and barely any grass, just a few stubborn weeds holding on. For years, this area had been overused, overgrazed, and neglected. Most people told us that the only way to bring it back was to plant hundreds of saplings and hope a few survived. But something told us there was still life hidden beneath the surface. Old roots, buried seeds, and forgotten species might still be sleeping in the soil, waiting for the right moment to return. Instead of rushing to plant trees, we paused and tried to understand what the land was trying to tell us. This was the beginning of a project that would surprise us completely. The big experiment: no tree planting. The idea of growing a forest without planting a tree sounded impossible. Even we had doubts at first, but after researching natural regeneration and forest ecology, we learned something powerful. If the soil still contains native seeds, roots, or underground networks, a forest can regrow on its own. Planting trees is helpful, but sometimes it interrupts nature's own design. So we decided to try something bold: no saplings, no seed balls, no pots, no digging. Instead, our experiment focused on supporting whatever wanted to grow naturally. We didn't know what species would appear or how long it would take, but we believed that the land remembered what it used to be. All it needed was the correct conditions to wake up. This experiment wasn't just about saving money or efforts, it was about trusting nature's ability to heal itself. And soon, the land began to respond. Healing the soil first. The first step wasn't planting trees, it was healing the soil. Dry, compacted soil cannot support life, even if seeds are present underground. So we covered the entire area with thick organic mulch, dried leaves, straw, and compost scraps. The goal was to protect the soil from direct sun, help it hold moisture, and bring back microorganisms. We stopped all tilling, digging, and disturbance. Earthworms slowly returned. The soil softened when the first rains came. Instead of running off, the water soaked deep into the ground. This was the turning point. By restoring moisture and life to the soil, we activated a hidden seed bank. Seeds that had been waiting for years finally sensed the right environment. Tiny green shoots began to appear. At first, we couldn't identify them. Were they shrubs, trees, native plants? All we knew was that the soil was alive again, and nature had accepted our invitation. How life returned on its own? Within a few weeks, something incredible happened. Small saplings began emerging everywhere. Some were just a few centimeters tall, but their leaves were shaped like native species. These weren't weeds, they were baby trees waking up. Without any planting, we suddenly had neem, acacia, moringa, and native shrubs appearing naturally. Some grew from dormant seeds, others came from old root systems still alive underground. As the soil regained health, more species joined the transformation. The land was choosing its own forest. These naturally born plants were stronger than nursery saplings. They grew quickly, adapted easily, and resisted heat better because their roots were already connected to the land. It was nature regenerating itself exactly the way it wanted, not the way we forced it. Watching these tiny saplings push through previously dead ground was like witnessing a miracle happening in slow motion. Wildlife comes back as the vegetation returned. Something unexpected began to happen. Wildlife came back. Birds started visiting, landing on the small saplings and dropping seeds they carried from other areas. Insects returned, improving pollination and soil aeration. Earthworms multiplied beneath the mulch, turning dead organic matter into fresh, rich soil. Even small mammals and reptiles began exploring the area again. Every creature added something to the ecosystem. Birds planted seeds for free. Ants helped break down organic matter. Butterflies brought pollen. Nature wasn't just growing a forest, it was rebuilding an entire ecosystem. This wildlife activity accelerated everything. New species appeared that we never expected, and the land became more diverse than it had been for years. We realized that forests aren't grown by humans, they're grown by animals, insects, wind, and water. We simply created the conditions, and nature did all the engineering. Explosion of diversity. By the third month, the land looked completely different. What was once barren ground transformed into a mosaic of young trees, vines, grasses, and shrubs, all growing in perfect natural spacing. We didn't have to plan anything. Nature arranged everything beautifully. Some species grew fast, creating shade. Others filled gaps, protecting the soil. A few rare natives appeared, species we didn't even know existed here. This diversity made the area resilient. When extreme heat arrived, some species slowed down while others continued growing, balancing the ecosystem. Unlike planted forests, where all trees are the same age and height, this naturally regenerated area had layers: ground cover, shrubs, mid-level trees, and canopy trees. It was becoming a real forest, not a plantation. The diversity also improved soil faster than any fertilizer could. Every day, new life appeared, and the land grew stronger without our intervention. Comparing with planted forests, most planted forests struggle. Many saplings die, require watering, and take years to adapt. But our naturally regenerated forest surprised us. The trees that grew here were stronger because they chose the place themselves. Their roots were deeper, and they didn't need daily care. No watering, no fertilizers, no pesticides. They simply grew. In planted forests, trees often compete unnaturally because humans force spacing. Here, everything grew in harmony because nature decided the spacing. Some species dominated, others supported, and some acted as natural fertilizer factories. This forest grew faster than planted ones and needed almost no maintenance. We learned that planting trees is good, but helping nature revive itself is even more powerful. Natural forests are richer, healthier, and more sustainable because they rebuild the way ecosystems are meant to, not in straight lines, but in living patterns. Lessons learned and how anyone can do this. This entire journey taught us one important lesson. You don't always have to plant trees to grow a forest. Sometimes the seeds are already waiting underground. Anyone can try this method, whether you have a backyard, a small plot, or even a neglected corner of land. Start by stopping all disturbance. Cover the soil with organic mulch. Protect it from grazing, burning, or tilling. Let moisture stay in the soil. With time, seeds will wake up, roots will heal, and new life will emerge. If no trees appear, that's okay. Wildlife and wind will bring seeds naturally. Be patient. Nature works quietly but powerfully. You're not creating a forester, allowing one to return. And once it starts, the process becomes unstoppable. This is regeneration, not plantation. And that's how we grew a forest without planting a single tree. Nature already had everything it needed: seeds, roots, nutrients, and the incredible ability to heal itself. All we did was create the right conditions and step back. If you have a small piece of land, a garden corner, or even a neglected space near your home, you can try this too. Start by protecting the soil, keeping it covered, and letting nature breathe again. You will all be amazed at how quickly life returns when we stop fighting the land and start supporting it. Thanks for watching.